Peace. What's happening, good people? This gift here for Payusnomind, and let's talk about playlisting services and whether they're worth the money. Now, these services are provided by companies that exist to facilitate the delivery of your music to playlist curators and incentivizes them to consider playlisting your music by bribing them with hardcore cash. Now, what we are investigating here is whether it's worth it to pay them to do that. Now, we'll be examining three things. They are alternatives, drawbacks, and benefits. First, alternatives. Now, the chief alternative is to do it yourself and not pay anybody and save a whole bunch of money. But keep in mind that what you don't pay for in money, you pay for in time. And you will end up spending a lot of time, like 40-hour work week type of time, collecting emails, contact information, sending emails, only to have people not respond because they have zero incentive to respond. That is the whole benefit of playlisting services. It's that these people can guarantee that your music will at least be considered, that people will listen to it and decide whether they like it enough to playlist. When you contact people directly, they have no reason to open those emails, so you can spend hours and hours and hours collecting emails, sending emails to only get ignored. Crickets. Now, the next thing here is ads. Ads is the other alternative. Facebook ads, Instagram ads, things of that nature. Now, the thing with ads is, with marketing, you have what's called in-market segments. In-market segments are people who are actively in the market for a product. Like somebody is running Google searches for iPhones and they're visiting websites like Best Buy and they're doing price comparisons and things of that nature. They are in the market for an iPhone. So somebody running an ad to them to sell an iPhone is more likely to get a sale because they are actively looking to buy one. Now, people who are out of the market, where you just run up on a random person and say, here's an iPhone, they might like your iPhone. They'll look at it. They'll be like, oh, this was nice. And when I'm ready to buy a phone, I'll buy the phone. So you are less likely to get a sale from somebody who is out of the market than somebody who is in the market. Now, when it comes to ads are reaching people who are out of the market. They are not actively seeking music. They're just on Facebook or Instagram scrolling through the feed, being exposed to whatever's there. Playlists are people who are in the market. They are actively consuming music. They're in the right mental and psychological space to receive a song. So they might be listening to a playlist that caters to your style of music. So it's going to be most potent reaching those people at that moment. And when we talk about converting people, like getting a sale, rather in this instance, we are referencing fan conversion, turning somebody into a fan. So you are more likely to get a fan from a playlist than you are from an ad because of the fact of people being in the market for music with playlists. So that is the main two things when it comes to alternatives. Now we get into drawbacks, because drawbacks is what kind of holds people back from considering playlisting services. Now, the key drawbacks here are expectations and legitimacy. So when it comes to expectations, a lot of artists feel like, hey, my music is amazing, and once people hear it, they're gonna love it. So all I got to do is go pay for this playlist service. And then once the playlist curators hear it, they're going to playlist it, guaranteed. And then once it gets playlisted, it's going to generate thousands of streams. And I'm going to ride off into the sunset, a happy man. And the reality of the situation is not how it works, not just from the standpoint of whether your music is good or bad. There's fit. There's a whole bunch of other things that factor into whether somebody chooses to playlist a song or not. And if an artist does not get their song playlisted, or it gets playlisted and doesn't generate a lot of streams, they want to cry scam. And what that leads us to is legitimacy. Now, legitimacy is a matter of whether the playlist is an actual scam. Now, what artists perceive to be a scam is actually legitimate. And what they believe to be legitimate is actually a scam, because they want promises and guarantees. And any kind of promises or guarantees is a surefire scam because there is nothing that you can promise or guarantee other than delivery. And the fact that you're saying, hey, we are going to get this to curators, and after that, it's up to them. So if somebody is saying, hey, man, we will promise you that your song is going to get playlisted, likely a scam. If somebody is saying, we promise you that you're going to get a range of streams from this amount to that amount, likely a scam. Now, a lot of scammers have gotten hip to a lot of people like myself and others that have now beat the drum of, hey, if anybody guarantees streams, it's a scam. So now they don't say, hey, we guarantee you 10,000 streams. They do the range thing, a range of X amount to X amount. But even with that, you can't guarantee that because the reality is a stream is not counted as a stream until somebody listens for at least 30 seconds. And you can't guarantee that people who have no incentive, they're not being paid to listen to this music. There is nothing that they don't work for Spotify, where Spotify is saying you have to stream this music and we'll give you free Spotify if you do. You know, this is just people who are listening, and if they like it, they continue to listen, and if they don't, they don't. So if it's not a good song, might not make it to 30 seconds. Nobody can guarantee that it will. So anybody that does, scam. Now, the thing with artists is the expectations. Because the music is good, if it gets playlisted, that means that, hey, of course it did. My music is great. And if it gets streams, of course it did. My music is great. And if it doesn't, that means it's a scam. So it's kind of like a heads I win, tails you lose, right? If I win, great, yay me, I'm a great basketball player. If I lose, you cheated. The benefits. And like what do you get out of playlisting now, or using playlisting services? Now, these services, one, save you a lot of time, because you don't have to do the research and find the playlists and send emails and all this other stuff. And then the other aspect is they're incentivizing these people. They're paying them to listen to your song, so you actually get consideration. People are going to listen to the song and decide whether they're going to playlist it or not. And then the benefit to getting on playlists is you're reaching in-market segments, people who are actively seeking music, so you are more likely to convert someone to a fan from the playlist. So those are like the big benefits of playlisting, in addition to the algorithm and being associated with the artists on the playlist and getting into their Discover Weeklies and artist radio stations and daily mixes and things of that nature. Now, when it comes to whether playlist services are worth it, I say yes. I say you just have to make sure that you're dealing with a company that is legitimate. And again, that speaks to tempering your expectations and not looking for a service that's going to promise you streams and playlist additions and all of this other stuff, and recognizing the fact that this is humans that are going to be listening to your music and deciding whether to playlist it or not. And sometimes they might like the song, and they might like the song but not like it enough to playlist. But you have the ability to try another song, and maybe you get the right song that they'll respond to. Now, I'm always curious to know what your thoughts are on the topic, so make sure you comment below. As always, y'all can hit me up at Payusnomind on Instagram, at Payusnomind on Twitter, payusnomind@gmail.com. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. This is Gift signing off. Pay us no mind. Peace, good people. One.